Welcome to Wash Talk, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today we have Rex Womble, Vice President of Quivio. Rex, great to see you, and thanks for taking a few minutes here for Wash Talk.
Thanks a lot, Rich. Big fan of the podcast and the platform. It's a privilege to be here today.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're big fans of Wash Metrics as well. I know you had a busy summer, Rex, with the acquisition by Sonny's, which we broke on carwash.com in late August. So is everything going good with you and your team integrating into Sonny's?
Everything's going great. Number one, thank you for covering that story. Second time on the platform with you guys. We did the interview back maybe the first year we started with Wash Metrics, but now that we're part of Sonny's and the Sonny's family, it's been kind of above expectations. The team and the culture is great. The platform we're working on has been fantastic and really exciting. And anything to help the car wash community, that's what our mission is. And so it's really, really great to be here.
Very cool. Love it. Yeah, that platform, and it was included in that press release. A key part of that acquisition is bringing Sonny's Quivio platform to the next level. And that's what we're discussing here today is the importance of connecting the modern car wash. And I understand that Sonny's recently here in early November recently launched the first set of live Quivio modules. And for those who don't know, Quivio is a connected operations platform designed to unify every aspect of a car wash business with a single digital ecosystem. And it combines software, hardware, and cloud-based analytics into one solution. And Rex, in addition to speaking with you here today, I also had the great opportunity a couple of weeks ago to connect with Sonny's CEO, Kurt Hutchins, for an article that I was writing, and he also mentioned this connected ecosystem. So for operators who might be hearing this term connected ecosystem for the first time, how would you define it in the context of the modern car wash business?
Yeah, great question. So today, whether you're large or small in the marketplace with the tools available, they're all disconnected. You have to get multiple applications, in some case up to 5 or 6 or 7. There may be a marketing platform. You may have the point of sale platform. You have the digital marketing services. You have a maintenance piece. You have an opening and closing checklist piece. All these different tools, for the most part, are from different vendors. So there's 6 or 7 places to get the data you need. None of it's connected. You have single logins for each one. The databases are not the same. Some of them rely on the source system, which is the point of sale. It creates an unstructured, disconnected work environment, or it takes a lot of time and resources to connect them all together. So connected ecosystem for us is the answer to that is Quivio, where it's one platform. It's all the systems you need. It becomes the car wash ERP. They're all fully integrated and native to each other, single sign-on across the board, single security layer across the board. And more importantly, the data integrity. It's all from one common source system, the same data calculation layers. So the metrics that you report on, you can trust and validate. And so that's what Sonny's is doing with Quivio. And we could talk more about that, but in our world, we believe that is what will help operators regardless of the site count and size.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit. For decades, operators barely had any insight into each individual line item that they had at their car wash. Now they have a lot of data, so they're juggling multiple software systems, and including POS, as you mentioned, and maintenance logs, and CRM and analytics dashboards. So what challenges do these fragmented tools create, and how can an integrated platforms help solve these challenges?
For the first part, high costs. You're paying retail price more or less for individual applications. That adds up. A lot of them seeing a price per site. You're paying full price for each individual vendor's application suite. A lot of times they're not built for the car wash owner. You have to customize them and configure them, and then you have to hire people with the expertise to kind of pipe in data to and from these different tools. You have to make changes to make it car wash specific workflows, right? We talked about the multiple logins and issues. It also leads to just basically data error prone issues, right? Your data entry from one to the other. One system reports it this way, another one reports it that way. So you're kind of dependent in all these cases on that single master data management, that single source of truth. When they all get integrated together, that vendor, let's assume it's Sonny's Quivio, they then take the accountability to support that, right? They have the streamline onboarding across the board for all those systems. You know who to go to for support. And ultimately, it helps by making the customer more proactive versus reactive. I have the full 360 view of that business, maintenance, service, chemical, CRM, point of sale, financial reporting. I then have the full view. I then know exactly what's happening at all times. So we're enabling that customer to be more proactive with that full unified view.
And like I said, operators have more data at their fingertips than ever before, but that doesn't necessarily translate to better insight, right, Rex? So how can operators translate data from their equipment and their memberships and financials into actionable steps that can actually improve site performance?
Today it's usually very custom how they get all that together. Right. There's a financial system that has all their expenses and doesn't necessarily talk to their point of sale. It doesn't really talk to the maintenance side of things and right how they track all that information. And so the first step in our view is to get that 360-degree view of the consolidated data set. So the entire customer journey being measured from the marketing tools to find those people, the tools to actually, promote that, redeem them from loyalty, keep them current as a member, offer them benefits if they redeem a lot. And so we believe having a defined process to measure them is the first step, right? There's tools and software to measure that. And then you can manage what you measure, right? And so having all that together, you can then have the financials tied to marketing campaigns to measure the customer acquisition costs and the ROI per marketing campaign. And when you can do that, we believe that you actually have that's the actionable tools to measure profitability per site, which is in this environment, how you win the game. And so we want to be the vendor to help support that and give them the ability to do that.
So it sounds like a much more pinpoint and strategic method of marketing as opposed to just trying anything, the proverbial throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. It sounds like it could be actually more pinpointed to see what works and what doesn't, right? So, all right. So I know one of the biggest operational pain points, or some of the biggest operational pain points for operators, especially in recent years, as we've seen volume increase and membership uptick in this industry, tracking maintenance, uptime, and performance across multiple sites. So many operators now are trying to gain insights across multiple sites. So how can connected systems make it easier or even proactive, like you mentioned before, for managers in the field?
When one vendor owns both the service side and the software side, the systems and the service become interconnected. It helps. They can take ownership and accountability of what's happening in the field and the back office. The Quivio solution does address that. What's available now to what will be available in the future with the smart sensors and the proactive maintenance and monitoring around the water and chemical and equipment. That is something that's going to be released here soon, but something that will be delivered to the marketplace. But overall, accountability, right? Better support. We know exactly what the issue is. We've tracked it. We've been servicing that. They can take ownership of it. They know how to diagnose the issue faster. And then the benefit to the customer is they have one support line, one vendor to talk to that's been there from day one on the journey. So I think having that that ERP to car wash, right? The service, the software, all the different tools, the support line, dedicated customer onboarding team helps make that that performance optimized.
In addition to maintenance and uptime and performance, it's something obviously operators see as a top challenge is labor really in this industry. So how can technology play a role in simplifying training, maybe improving consistency and helping teams perform at a higher level?
You're right. That's a great question and big topic right now. I think incentivizing the performance helps make teams perform at a better optimized level, right? So there's software applications that Sonny's has that will help incentivize them, right? It's a sales leaderboard at the site level. Who's selling the most? When are they selling the most? There's tools we have in Wash Metrics to measure traffic patterns and conversion rates on average by day, by hour, across sites, across regions, across districts. It helps diagnose, when they're selling, when they're not selling. Having labor scheduling based on those traffic patterns to help those operators make sure that they have it staffed right at peak times or non-peak times to reduce that labor spend. What we're working on now also is AI-based labor schedule recommendations, right? So all these different tools kind of come to help answer that question, tracking the incentives, making smart recommendations to offer, maybe retail members that have come through 3 times, a recommended savings plan based on your usage. You could have saved X amount of dollars by becoming a member. Here's our member package. So these are issues that a lot of operators face. Now there's tools available to address them. There's data tools we have like Wash Metrics to help identify these areas. There's sales optimization tools via Quivio Sales Ace to help give them a way to help train and coach those individuals to make them more incentivized. They can take home higher take home pay. And so we're investing in that area to make sure that, they're getting the most out of their labor and their teams.
And I know, with the backing of Sonny's, obviously, the Carwash College, Sonny's the Carwash College has been something operators have been taking advantage for several decades here in this industry. So it's a really great company that's been a leader in this industry for a while. It's pretty much seen and done everything in the business. So not a bad backing when you could partner that with some classroom training to help bring these teams to the next level. So, Rex, I mentioned that interview I had with Kurt earlier in this interview here, and we really talked about the current state of the car wash industry in 2025, and certainly something we've been talking a lot about this year seems like the industry has entered what many describe maybe as a more thoughtful era of growth, and that is less building and more optimizing of sites. So how do you see connected technology shaping that next phase for operators?
It's about driving more profitability per site in my view, right? And just kind of the macro where it is. I think it's about dealing with what you have, right? So using data to find what your weaknesses are. Where can we optimize the site? Is it a new member, attracting new member issue? Is it retaining issue? Is it a credit card processing or failure issue? Is it operational issues? I think having the tools available, you can diagnose and use data to make the site, more optimized, making smarter decisions on what those weaknesses are, what those, historic trends are, measuring your ramp out period in certain holidays and month over month growth, using tools we have to kind of predict where you'll end the month on sales, recurring member billing, and also using software to help, track the financial profitability of those stores, right? So I think using the tools that are being offered, using software and data to help, make those sites more profitable is the big focus now. And so I think the companies that are leveraging that and putting those tools in place, number one, they're reducing the headcount and the overall spend. And number two, they're using the recommendation engines behind these software tools to know where they can focus to drive profitability and the reduce costs, right? So I think that's kind of the way that these operators in today's environment, it's about getting the most out of each site's profitability. And a lot of that comes down to managing effective membership campaigns using CRM, something Sonny's has now, and just in making sure your members get the best customer experience.
All right, sounds good. I know Wash Metrics and Sundays won't rest on their laurels here. I know you mentioned AI earlier in our discussion. How will Quivio continue to develop as you move forward here to meet operators' needs in the future? Do you see more incorporation of AI perhaps in these coming months and years ahead?
Absolutely. So, Quivio has had the privilege to kind of see the tools that are out there today and have that advantage of being the second mover in. And that's allowed us to make sure when we go to market, which is available now, CRM is available now, white label mobile app is available now, Wash Metrics is available now. In the future, right? So the last quarter of 25 and then throughout the Q1 and Q2 of 26, we have a full ecosystem of connected applications that'll be launching. And so today, I feel like we already have the leg up of being the most technically advanced, fully integrated platform out there compared to any other vendor. A lot of those vendors require our data to actually be of use. And so, maintenance, right? Maintenance will be rolling out next. Opening, closing checklists, inventory management, training, documentation. Then you get into your question on the AI. We have an AI churn prevention and churn detection tool that will plug into CRM. It'll be the first and only tool of its kind to help diagnose who is most likely and probable to churn. How do I one-click create and segment those people, create a targeted message to retain those people, and get ahead, again, proactively get ahead of those people churning. That's real dollars back in the operator's pocket to retain them and offer them discounts and make sure those people do not churn. So AI on labor scheduling will be a big piece. Then you talk about the hardware with Quivio Edge, the new smart device, the smart hardware connected site system that will help power mobile point of sale, mobile tablet point of sale, chemical and water sensing management, proactive equipment maintenance, right? All these things, there's only one or two vendors that could even have the opportunity to kind of create and do that and build that. We'll be the first and the best in that category, just given our experience being the leading vendor since, the company started in 1949. So today there's a lot available. AI is going to be the next layering phase of software with those existing tools. And then in the future, that'll be the backbone of all the different applications that we offer to the market. And so, Quivio, I think will be the leader in this space to be the first and only connected car wash platform. And then in the future, personally, I'm a little biased, but I don't see how another vendor will be able to catch up with the breadth and the depth of what these applications provide and offering as many as we will be providing to the marketplace here in the near term.
Certainly exciting times in the car wash industry and exciting times over at Sonny's as well. I know you're a busy man, Rex, to close out this year, 2025, as you're unrolling more Quivios and making it available to more operators. So I definitely appreciate you taking a couple of minutes here to catch up with carwash.com.
Rich, thank you so much for your time. This was great and excited for you to continue checking out Sonny's and Quivio and all the new updates we have rolling out the remainder of this year and next. Thank you for having me on.